I think we can all agree that the launch of Arkham Knight on the PC was nothing short of abysmal, even enough to invoke a negative reaction from the Batman himself. However, the game has since been patched and re-released on Steam. So under all of these bugs that plagued the game from the start, is there a great game conclusion to an awesome series ready to be played? Or does Arkham Knight fall flat regardless of the recent polishing? It's time to take a trip to the city of Gotham one last time. This is Batman Arkham Knight. Of course, we have to start off with the visuals. This game is easily one of the best looking games of 2015. The requirements to run this game are freaking ridiculous, but if you have the beast of a rig to do it, it'll blow your freaking mind. Heck, I have a pretty tough rig myself, and even I couldn't run this game on max settings, even with my 4GB GTX 960. Heck, the developers knew that eye candy would easily sell this game, so they opted to include a photo mode to take some screenshots, which could be done at any time. Even though this technically doesn't enhance the gameplay in any way, it's a nice little extra that I'm glad was included. Unfortunately, the game still suffers from frame rate issues. Even when I'm not recording, the frame rate hasn't been very consistent, especially when driving around in the Batmobile. There are also a few minor graphical glitches every now and then. This doesn't bother me too much, but a game with this much graphical power and budget really takes me out of the experience and breaks the immersion for me, even if it is only for a few seconds. Since the game came out this year and the marketing team at Warner Bros. Did a good job marketing on keeping players intrigued without saying too much about the story, I won't focus on it for too long. I appreciate also if you kept the comments section spoiler free as well. However, I do have some comments of my own to make. Overall, the story is well done and kept me interested the whole way through. Scarecrow plans to unleash his toxin onto Gotham. The city is evacuated and it's up to Batman and his squad to take back the city. Even though it's a fairly standard setup, the colorful characters, especially the villains, and the twists and turns really make the story worthwhile. But honestly, this game really shouldn't have been called Arkham Knight. Sure, it sounds cool and brings importance to the mysterious but generic looking figure. However, he isn't the main villain, Scarecrow is. He is just Scarecrow's lackey at best. The Arkham Knight is just uninteresting and has a very weak reveal. Any fan of the comics can easily spot who it's supposed to be. Heck, I don't even read the comics and I knew who it was halfway through the game. It just wasn't handled properly. Thankfully, a good amount of villains in the Batman universe make a return in this one, each with their own agenda. Just to name a few, you got Poison Ivy, as you can see right here, Deathstroke, who's awesome, Harley Quinn, the Riddler, Two-Face, and a bunch more. As a conclusion to Rocksteady's trilogy, not counting Arkham Origins as it was a different developer, prior knowledge of the other two games isn't necessarily needed, but it does help to supplement the story. As a standalone title, new players can get into the story without feeling too lost. However, I really recommend to play Arkham Asylum and Arkham City if you want to get the complete experience, as there are a bunch of references to the prior titles littered throughout. So enough with the story, let's talk about the most important part of the game, the gameplay. As it has been with previous Arkham games, you'll feel right at home with the combat system. The amount of different ways to knock out opponents keeps it varied throughout the game. It's easy to learn combat system and impressive animations make new players eager to knock some heads around. If I do have to complain about the fighting engine, it is how there are a bit too many button presses to remember, with so many gadgets in each specific type of enemy requiring a specific way to take them down. It becomes a bit overwhelming at times. However, it's a very minor complaint as the combat is still awesome and still a blast to play. Every installment has improved upon the fighting engine, and this game is no exception. The combat really shines when you're fighting with another person. The way you switch between the characters with a double team takedown is nothing short of silky smooth. And of course, we gotta talk about the Batmobile. There is no more time to waste. It's the sole reason why many people got hyped about this game. Being able to cruise around the city is going to be awesome. However, does it live up to the hype? In certain areas, it definitely feels amazing. Chasing down bad guys, destroying drones, and incapacitating enemies all feel good. Heck, just the handling of the Batmobile is nice and smooth, and the way you can use it as a springboard to reach certain places and glide around the city is pretty damn cool. As you played through Arkham Knight, you were able to unlock some new abilities for your Batmobile, giving you a good sense of progression. On the other hand, there are a bunch of puzzles, specifically the Riddler challenges, that involve the use of the Batmobile. The gadgets within are fully displayed here, but this is when I feel the developers tried to shove the Batmobile in your face a bit too much. There are just too many missions that involve the Batmobile, with my least favorite ones involving following a trail. These are the most boring missions and really slow the game down to a crawl. My favorite thing to do as Batman is taking down foes using stealth. Thankfully, there are plenty of missions involving this, all very well done. A new mechanic called the Fear multi-takedown allows Batman to take out multiple foes at once, which is really cool and has been a very enjoyable addition for me. With the already well done mechanics coupled with the new features offered within, offer a wide variety of ways to take down your foes. Another really cool feature is stalking enemies with another character. Seeing both Batman and Robin working together is pretty awesome, and being able to switch between the two characters allow for a pretty cool dynamic not often seen in other games. Since Batman is known as the world's greatest detective, well, at least in the world of DC, there are moments littered within involving his unbelievable detective skills. Some make sense, like when he's scanning the individual through a database to determine who the hell he/she is. However, some, like the accident reconstruction, are confusing on how he is able to determine what exactly happened. I know it's not supposed to be ultra realistic, but it's just something that makes me scratch my head a bit. Or maybe Batman is just that damn good. As I mentioned before, there are a wide variety of gadgets that can prove to be a bit overwhelming at times. This makes the Riddler challenges that much harder, as you need to use a multitude of gadgets to solve the puzzles. The puzzles found in the main quest, however, are fairly challenging, but nothing too overbearing, and nothing using a bit of the old noggin can't solve. Just like the other Arkham games, there are a ton of upgrades to unlock. By completing certain challenges, you are given Wayne Tech points that can be used to unlock additional maneuvers, increase your health, and a bunch more. Also, the upgrade system is fairly non-linear, so you can choose to focus on whatever you want at any time. The city of Gotham is pretty damn big, and there's a good amount of content to keep you busy. Of course, you can travel through the skies and streets of Gotham and beat up on random thugs, work on a variety of cases, or you can participate in specific arena challenges that are unlocked when completing certain tasks. In order to get the real ending though, you need to 100% complete all of the cases. And yes, that involves the time-consuming Riddler challenges. Okay, so this is really minor, but I find this cool nonetheless. With certain DLC, you can view various costumes Batman wore throughout the year. Better yet, you can wear these costumes not only in the arena challenges, but during the story mode as well. And better yet, these costumes are used during the cutscenes. That is such a minuscule thing, but to me, it's pretty cool being able to look like a cyborg version of Batman Beyond. By the way, go watch Batman Beyond right now. It's on Netflix. Outside of the main story, there are arena challenges which allow you to play as Batman, Robin, Nightwing, Azrael, Catwoman, and a few more with DLC. There are also challenges specifically suited to the Batmobile involving races and combat. Some of the characters are very similar to each other, such as Robin and Nightwing, but characters like Catwoman offer a new dynamic to the game. Playing as Catwoman during the Predator missions is a huge challenge. Not only does she not have the wide variety of gadgets that Batman has, but she doesn't have the ability for multiple takedowns since her main method of defeating enemies does not involve fear. However, she does have a few unique gadgets to herself that take some time to get used to. When it comes to straight up brawling, she is much quicker than the other characters and fights a bit differently with her whip. Also, since she's not as brolic like Batman or other characters, she is much more nimble than them and reacts much more quicker. I know other characters like Harley Quinn and Red Hood should be talked about, but they are DLC characters. The price is reasonable for what you get, but it's just not an interest for me right now. Before I wrap things up, I want to give a quick comment about the DLC. For this game, it's handled pretty well actually. Sure, there is a lot to buy and it is a little bit ridiculous, but most of it, if not all of it, is just supplement to the game rather than being used to complete it. This is what DLC should be doing nowadays, not ripping out pieces of the main game and forcing you to buy what should be already included. So that was Arkham Knight. There was a lot I didn't talk about specifically with the story only because I didn't want to spoil it for people who haven't played it yet. Also, I was going to do a lot more with this review, but the way my ill-fated life has been, it has become extremely difficult. But anyways, Arkham Knight has certainly rebounded after the unplayable launch on the PC. If the game came out in this state, not many people would be complaining. It's a great conclusion to an awesome series that helped to resurrect superhero games. The graphics are pristine, the audio as a whole is well done, the story minus the Arkham Knight himself is also well done, and the gameplay is enjoyable all the way through. I highly recommend this game to pretty much every gamer, even to gamers who aren't very fond of the Batman. I am definitely looking forward to what Rocksteady plans on doing next, maybe moving on to a Superman or possibly a Justice League game. Either way, I'm excited. Thank you guys for watching, apologies for not being able to get it out earlier, Happy New Year, and this is Pow3rh0use signing off.